Might be over now, but I feel it still.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Show me jazzies if you can hear me all right. Man, I'm excited to hang out with every single one of you tonight. Some of you in Australia, I think maybe it's morning. I don't know what time zone you're on, Australia. I was on a call with someone today from Australia. They said, "What time is that Australia time?" I was like, I don't have a single clue. I know it's not 7 p.m. in Australia. I know that for sure, but I don't know what time it is. So I'm so freaking pumped to hang with every single one of you. Welcome to the main event of the Push for Diamond. My name is Josh. I'm your host this week. I know many of you showed up because we have so many incredible guest speakers this week that's who you're excited to see. You might not even be excited to see me, and that's okay. I hope I can change your mind in the next couple of minutes. So I am a member of the John Maxwell team. I went through his certification 10 years ago. How many of you heard of John Maxwell? Show me jazz if you've ever heard of John Maxwell. Beautiful. Most of you have. If you haven't, that's okay. He's only written like 104 books. Best-selling author like 95,000 times. He is the #1 leadership trainer on the planet. I trained with him 10 years ago. Spent my first year struggling with business. Has anyone ever struggled with business? Show me jazz if you ever struggle with business. You know, I always joke, like, you would think being mentored by John Maxwell, like I would have had the quickest success in the world, right? Like, this dude has like literally made hundreds of millions of dollars. This dude gets paid $100,000 to just step onto a stage for an hour. Can you imagine that? Just here's a check for 100,000 for speaking for an hour. The greatest mind, in my opinion, of like our generation. And my first year, I still struggled like crazy. Guys, I grew up really competitive playing sports. Anyone else have a sports background or just maybe like to watch on Saturdays or Sundays? Grew up playing sports. I played basketball, football, ran track to stay in shape for football and basketball. I learned 3 different instruments in my teenage/early 20s. Got married really young, had kids really young, and so I had to go get jobs without a college degree and had to work really hard. And thankfully, I had parents that taught me if you work really freaking hard, you can work your way to the top. Anyone else ever been taught that? And that was always true for me in everything I did until business. And then I found that working really freaking hard didn't necessarily get you success. Is there anyone that's worked really hard in other areas of life and then you came into business and you were like, I'm working really hard. I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, but it is not working for me here the way it has worked in other places. And tonight, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why that happens, why business is different. Okay. And I really, really, really want to help you figure out like what is missing for you. Okay. Let's real quick give a rundown of the week though, because I know that some of you are like, we got 4 days, need some details. Tonight, I'm going to be teaching on some really powerful things that are going to help you to diagnose what's wrong in your business. Anyone ever had an undiagnosed sickness that just drives you crazy? You're like, if it's not diagnosed, I don't know what to do about it. And I want to do something about it, but I can't do that if I don't know what's wrong. So I'm going to help you out with that tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to have some of our guest speakers. Wednesday, we'll have some more guest speakers. And because of your vote, we will be back Thursday. It's a 3-day challenge that we extended into a 4-day challenge. So we'll be back Thursday, okay? So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll use this exact same link. It'll be from 10 a.m. Central to noon, okay? 10 a.m. Central to noon. If you're not getting the email reminders and text reminders, feel free to shoot us an email, info@joshcoates.com. We'll get you taken care of, okay? So tonight, I'm going to be talking a lot, and I really, really, really ask, is there any way you could give me an hour and a half of your time tonight? And if for some reason you got to jump off early, you have something you got to do, totally understand. No one's going to be mad at you. No one's going to be upset. But if you're able to, we would love to see your lovely face, even if you're shoving it full of avocados or something less healthy like ice cream. Whatever you got going on, I always say if you're doing anything other than peeing, we would love, love, love to see your camera turned on. If you're peeing, go ahead and keep the camera off. We ain't trying to go viral like that tonight, but we are so excited to hang out with you. And when your video is on, you just pay a little more attention, don't you? I don't know about you guys, but when my video is off, I'm like checking some emails, checking in on some posts. And what's the point of being here tonight if we're not going to dig in and really, really learn? So let's dig in. Let's learn, okay? Because this is really important, friends. My first year, I struggled like crazy, okay? But once I finally was able to partner together my work ethic with some of the tools that John Maxwell gave me. One of my very first clients in my second year was in network marketing. Okay, so you might have noticed this is a network marketing event. You don't have to be in network marketing, but it's called the Push for Diamond. And I will never forget, someone asked if this is recorded, and you just saved my ass. I did not hit record for some reason.
This meeting is being recorded.
Wow, Hannah just saved everyone, but mostly me, because we have 1,200 people registered and about 1,000 of them almost didn't get the replay. So thank you, Hannah, for that. I appreciate that so much. I forgot to record like 3 times in my entire life, and this was one of them. Hannah saved the day. Let's give it up for Hannah. Really quick, for those watching the replay, my name is Josh. I got certified through John Maxwell 10 years ago. I've been building a business ever since. I'm going to skip all the stuff that I already said to just kind of dive in for those of you that are here with me live. So my second year in business, I start to reach out and make some connections online. One of my very first clients in network marketing was really struggling with leadership. Now, she was selling like crazy. She was recruiting like crazy, but she struggled so much with her belief in her leadership. Guys, this is crazy to me. She was number 35 in her company and had not had a team call because she was scared to death she wasn't good enough of a leader. Now, for some of you, you might be like, if I was number 35 in the company, I'd be doing team calls every single night. But you have to understand, we all come from different places and different experiences and different perspectives, and we deal with different internal battles. And so I was able to work with her on her leadership skills. She ended up going top 10 in her company that year, which was super freaking cool. And then words started to spread a little bit. The next year, I helped someone who had been top 10, but had then fallen off, lost her momentum, kind of lost her mojo. Anybody ever had momentum before and then lost it? Anybody? And so she hired me to refine her mojo. And on our very first call, I will never forget the tears that streamed from her eyes as she said, Josh, I want so badly to get back into the top, but I don't know if I have what it takes. And she's crying. And I looked her in the eye and I said, listen, the fact that you want it means it's possible, means that you're capable, and we just have to put in the work and the focus and the alignment to make it happen. And we came up with a strategy using some really powerful stuff that John Maxwell taught me around life coaching and leadership coaching. And we put together a strategy, got her back to top 10, working less. Now, real quick, I just said working less. I'm not here to tell people they don't have to work to get what they want. I'm not here to tell anyone you can manifest things sitting on your couch eating ice cream. But when you do it the right way, it actually takes less work than you think to get where you want to go when we focus on the right things. I had another client who came to me and said she was in the top 10%. And she said, I want to be in the top 1% so freaking bad, but I'm working 60 hours a week and I have no idea how to work any harder. She's like, I come from corporate America. I am a hustler. I will do whatever you tell me to do, Josh. And I said, cool. Do you promise you'll do whatever I tell you to do? And she said, yes, I promise I'll do whatever it takes. I said, cool. Then we're going to take about 30 hours off of your current week because working 60 hours a week is insane. It is terrible for your mental health. It is terrible for your emotional health. It is terrible for your spiritual health. And oh, it's also terrible for your marriage. So we're going to sit down and we're going to come up with a game plan to get you to the top 1%, but we're not going to be working 60 hours a week. We're going to work 30 hours a week, and you're going to clock out on Friday afternoons and go on hikes with your husband and work on having a better relationship. And about 6 months later, she hit the top 1% in her company, hiking on Fridays and spending the weekend with her husband. It is so freaking important to me that you understand this, friends. This is a really valuable principle that John Maxwell taught me. Hard work by itself is not the key. It is not the answer. Now, it is one ingredient of success. Again, I'm not here to tell anyone that you can manifest millions of dollars sitting on your couch eating Ben & Jerry's just because you imagined it. That's not how life works either. But too many times we think that the answer and the solution is to work more hours, make more posts, send more messages, and it's just not the case. We have to mix work ethic. Absolutely, work ethic. I'm thank God every day that my parents taught me work ethic because it can't happen without work ethic. Okay? But you cannot work yourself into success if you don't learn some other things along the way. Do you know what I think is one of the biggest things that messes us up? I'm going to tell you in just 1 second, but I almost forgot to give a reminder of one more chance to get involved with our giveaway. So how many of you saw the giveaway that we did inside the Facebook group? How many of you went? Dude, you guys went crazy. I think my Instagram got, what was it? You guys just went absolutely bonkers. 587 comments on my Instagram posts for the giveaway. So let's give it up for you just sharing like crazy. This is why I love network marketers, because when you get excited about something, you tell everybody, and I freaking love that. So we got one more chance to participate. So one of my favorite things in the world to do, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a screenshot of all of us together, okay? Or you can take a selfie with us in the background, okay? And I want you to tag me on Instagram. On Instagram, I am Josh Coates _ push coach, okay? Tag me on Instagram. And at the end of tonight, we are going to be announcing 5 people that are winning $100, okay? Does anybody like cash? Okay, just to be clear, it's not actually cash. We're going to PayPal it to you or send you an e-gift card. We don't actually like mail people an envelope full of cash. Would never make it to you. But grab a screenshot, okay? Or take a selfie with us in the background. You can go ahead and do it. Get it knocked out. Get it out of the way. And then I want you to add this hashtag if you haven't already posted. Are you ready for this? No one's going to get this. A few of you will because you've been around me. Hashtag let's puke together. Hashtag let's puke together. It's something I wear on all of my bracelets. You're going to understand it in a minute. I promise I'm not an advocate for bulimia. This has a totally different meaning about setting goals that really matter. And we're going to dive into that together. Okay. Already posted. That's okay. If you forgot the hashtag, it's okay. You don't have to have the hashtag. It's just a bonus, and it's something a little spicy I like to do to get everybody like, what in the world is this guy gonna do tonight? Now, I do want to just remind you, if you upgraded to VIP, we will be sending you paperback copies of both of my books. I have one called The Best Version of You. This is like a life coach in a book, basically. I have another one, trigger warning, called F Leadership. And this book is inspired because I had so many people tell me over and over and over, Josh, I want to create success, but I don't know if I'm good enough of a leader. And so finally I said, F leadership. This is a word that we've taken out of context and we've used it against ourselves instead of for ourselves. And so this book is about what it actually takes to become a leader, specifically in network marketing. This is a very, very network marketing book. I do give away both of these for free on my website. You just have to pay for shipping. So, oh, looky there. Lisa already has hers. So if you upgrade to VIP, we'll just mail you copies automatically. If you didn't upgrade to VIP and you just want to go pay shipping to get both of them for free, you can just go to my website, joshcoates.com. And I think it's like $10 shipping. We send you both books. Okay, cool. All right. Are you guys ready? Everybody get a post, little story on Instagram with hashtag Let's Puke Together. Are you ready to find out what the hell that means? Are you ready to hear what that means? So we're going to start with one of the very, very, very first principles that John Maxwell taught me. Everyone write this down. This is a very, very life coach thing, okay? You always have to start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. So what we're going to do to start off this workshop before we dive into actual tactical and strategy stuff is we're going to set goals. And here's why. If you don't have some type of inspiration for where it is you're trying to get to and where it is you're trying to go, there's no way in the world you're actually going to take action on the things that I teach you tonight. I'm going to be super real with you. Some of the things I'm going to teach you tonight are going to challenge you. Okay? They're going to challenge the way you think, because too many times we've been passed along bad philosophies and bad strategies that don't actually work. And I'm going to challenge you to undo some of that learning and relearn some things. And if you don't have a really strong motivation for unlearning and relearning, there is no way in the world you're going to take the time and energy to do anything beyond tonight. And I don't want to just fill you up with energy tonight. I want to give you something that will change your life forever. So here's what I want to know. If you could have the life you really freaking wanted, if I could remove all of the struggle, all of the obstacles, and everything that is currently standing in your way. In other words, if I could like Jedi mind hack you and pull away every obstacle and limiting belief you currently have, what would you just reach out and grab? And there's a couple ways that I want you to think about this, okay? For those of you that are in network marketing, which is most of you, I like to personally, this is what I challenge my one-on-one clients to do. It's the same thing I do with my leaders in my six-figure inner circle, is I want you to come up with a rank goal, and I want you to come up with a monthly income goal. And it's important to have both. Just a rank goal will sometimes frustrate you when you miss it, but when you have an income goal, that's the thing that's going to actually affect your family and your life the most. So I like to put both of those. I want you to think about that. And before you actually write an answer, I want you to really, really, really ask yourself, if anything was possible, what would I put? Because sometimes we're tempted to put what sounds kind of realistic, sounds kind of like, I don't know if I could go there, but I bet I could go here. In this specific moment, we are living in a perfect world where you can have anything you want. And in this perfect world, I want to know, what rank would you go for and what monthly revenue would you want to create? Write that down in your notebook. And then I want to see it over here in the chat if you feel like sharing. If you don't, it's okay. It's okay if it's too private and you don't want to share, but I would love to see it over here. I'll just be over here drinking more pre-workout and trying to figure out how I'm going to sleep later, but I hope no one was planning on sleeping tonight. These calls tend to fire you up a little bit, and it's a little hard to sleep afterwards. Platinum and $5,000 a month. Presidential Diamond, $20,000, $10,000. Presidential Diamond, that sounds like an Amari. We got a lot of companies represented tonight. I'm super pumped for that. Super pumped. Elite, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $40,000 a month. Diamond, $20,000, $100,000. Presidential Diamond. Want to be the CEO, monthly goal of $5,000 a month. Presidential Diamond, $15,000 a month. National Executive Director, and $3,000 a month. 1 million VIP and 100,000 a month, 100,000. Does anybody just feel just like hearing everyone's? I don't know about you guys, but when I hear other people's goals, I literally get fired up. Because, guys, this is so important. The world, did you know that the world is full of both scarcity and abundance? And it's a matter of which direction you choose to look and which lens you choose to look through, of which one you actually end up magnifying in your life and actually getting. What you focus on expands. And one of the reasons I love to put together trainings like this and get you to say your goals out loud is because this alone is where the magic happens. When your goals and my goals and when we all come together. Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, says that when two growth-oriented minds come together, it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's more like multiplication. 2 people turn into 4 people. 4 people turn into 8 people. We've got 279 people live together right now, more watching the replay. I guess 1,000 people watching the replay. And that's a lot of freaking energy, guys. And this is a beautiful thing to allow our energy to come together. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk to you tonight about how to create that. But this is very important. I want you all to catch it. If you catch nothing else from me tonight, and I hope you do, please grab onto this. This is something that I've lived by for years. The goal we create in our highest vibe must become the standard we hold on to in our lowest vibe. The goal we create in our highest vibe. This is it. Surrounded by powerful people, surrounded by amazing people, surrounded by this energy is the standard we have to hold on to in our lowest vibe. Has anyone ever set a goal, maybe gone to like a company event and you're like, this time it's going to be different. I'm going to be a different person. And then you go home and all of your kids, for whatever reason, are always sick when you come home from like a business trip and are throwing up all over you and all over. And you're like, never mind, maybe I'll just try to post every day. And it's like so quickly we get pulled back to reality. But I want you to choose to hold on to this reality. Because what I learned a long time ago is that if I can grab on to the energy and I can hold on to it in my freaking soul, I can use that as inspiration. I don't need outward motivation. I like outward motivation. I appreciate a good motivational pep talk and some pre-workout. But the reality is I have my destiny living on the inside, and I take it with me everywhere I go. So let's flip the conversation just a little bit. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about, why is it so hard to create that goal? Why is it so hard to create the consistent growth you actually want in your business? And I want to walk through these. I'd love to see over here in the chat, I'd love to see, what's the biggest thing holding you back? What's the biggest thing holding you back? And it can be a belief, could be an action, could be something you need to learn. Myself, accountability, fear of success. Myself, mindset, time management, confidence, fear, time, consistency. I'm not good enough. Fear of failure. See the energy shift already. Don't worry, we're gonna get through this, okay? But that's a big energy shift. Goal. Here's why I suck. Focus. Fear, time management, belief it can happen for me. Okay. I put a couple things in my slides and I just want to see if anyone relates to any of these things. Let's see if I can get this. I hate updates on computers. I don't know how to use anything after it gets updated. Let's see if this works. There we go. Okay. Do you guys see that? Show me, Jazz, if you can see that. Yeah. Okay, good. If you're like most struggling leaders, you might be feeling like, I know I'm meant for more, but I'm still questioning my worth, talent, and skill. Anyone relate to that? Show me Jazzies if that's you. You know deep down that you're meant for more, but on the surface, you still got a lot of things running through your head. I have a crazy passion, but literally don't know what to say without being spammy. Is there anyone that struggles with connecting with people and creating posts that feel authentic versus just chasing people around? How about this? I'm a hard freaking worker, but lacking the strategy to get to the next rank or level. Anybody else feel like they're lacking strategy tonight? You crush talking about your products, but still struggle sharing the business. Show me Jazzies if you relate to that one. I hear this one a lot. And then I've got, for some of my top leaders on the call, I always like to throw a little something in for my 6 and 7 figure earners. You can crush your own business, but struggle to duplicate success to others. Hello, dragging people up a mountain. Anyone ever felt like you were literally just trying to drag people uphill? It's not a super fast way to get up the mountain, right? It's a very slow way and a very exhausting way. So here's the thing that I want to just, first of all, say to you is that wherever you feel stuck, wherever you feel you're like you're running into a ceiling, I want you to really take this in. You are not alone. Over and over and over, I've been on coaching calls with people, and sometimes there's people that have never made a single dollar. Sometimes there are people that make $1 million a month. And you know what I hear from both sets of people? I wish I was here, but I'm stuck here. And it's crazy to me that no matter what level people are at, they always think that everybody else is just flying high and having the very most incredible success in the world. It's working for everybody but me. Anyone ever felt like that? And I just want to say, before we jump into anything, you're not alone. You are not flawed. And also, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you haven't learned what I'm about to teach you tonight, it's not even your fault. Anyone ever started to like really, really, really question yourself in this process? Start to wonder, do I even have what it takes? Am I even worthy of the success I'm trying to create? I need you to know it is human nature. I'm going to teach you a little bit more about that human nature tonight so you understand why this is happening and where this is coming from. But it's so important for me to get this message relayed to you that you are literally golden. You were created perfect. You were created absolutely perfect. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing wrong. But there's a couple things working against us that could be working for us. And I'm going to teach you how to flip the script on those things tonight, okay? So I want to first just kind of expose this really, really, really big. I want to be careful about how I say this. I wouldn't say it's a lie by any means, but it's something taken really, really, really far out of context that I think has confused people, especially in the network marketing world, because these words are used so freaking much. How many of you have been told if you just keep showing up, eventually it'll work? There's this magical thing. It's called the compound effect. And the compound effect, it's like, you got these tiny little results, but then out of nowhere, boom, magic happens and boom, your results spike and take off like a freaking rocket ship and everything works out. And in the proper context, there is definitely some truth to the compound effect. But when taken out of context, it's insanity. Let me explain. I got 4 kids. None of them are into sports like I was. I sit around yelling and screaming at the TV all by myself. My wife, also not a sports fan. Me and my mom get together and yell at the TV together. But a couple years ago, we hang out at the park a lot. and me and my son Paxton are playing catch. And he'd never played catch with a football before. These are just things I did as like a 4-year-old. I had an older brother. Church had a lot of teenagers. So I was always just running around with people that were older than me. So I just learned everything at like a really young age. My kid, he likes video games. Him and his friends yell and scream at each other on Fortnite. You know, they don't yell at the TV for sports. They yell at the Fortnite. I don't even know what they're saying or what they're talking about. So I had to teach him how to throw a football. Okay. How many of you have thrown a football? Show me, Jazzy, if you've thrown a football, or at least understand the concept. Okay. A football is a weird shape, isn't it? And you can't throw a football like a baseball or anything else. It's strange. You got to put your fingers like on the stitches, and you got to kind of hold it sideways and you like let it roll off of your fingers. It's kind of a weird little thing to do, and it takes a little bit of time, right? So I had to teach him how to properly throw football. Took a little bit of time, but eventually got it down. Okay. Then we get a basketball goal in the backyard in the pool. Okay. And now he's going from football to basketball. Now I want you to imagine my son Paxton takes the basketball and holds it like a football and tries to throw it, spin it off the side of his hand and throw it at the basketball goal. Now, even if you don't love sports or know much about sports, how many of you can agree that if my son throws a basketball like he throws a football, he's not going to be very successful? Now, what happens if my kid is like, Dad, I've been really thinking about like getting serious about basketball. Can you teach me how to play? Because like I'm throwing the thing and it is not going in very often. And I say, it's okay, son. Don't you know you just have to keep showing up? And he goes, huh, really? I said, yeah, you just go every single day. You just be here a year from now. You just practice every single day and you just show up over and over and over. And your success is going to look kind of like this for a little bit. But eventually, if you just keep going, I don't know, it's going to skyrocket. And he goes, okay, Dad, I'll keep practicing then. A week goes by and he still sucks at basketball. Because he is still throwing that thing like a football and it's clanking off of the rim over and over and over. And he's like, Dad, I'm a little frustrated. I went to school and the other kids are shooting the basketball way different than me. Can you show me how to properly shoot a basketball? I say, Paxton, come on. You got to have some faith. You got to trust the process. Don't you know that if you just keep showing up, little things done over time turn into great? You just show up and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. I think you guys get where I'm going here, don't you? To tell someone to just keep showing up without actually teaching them the technique or the strategy it takes is insane. It's absolutely crazy. And here's the really hard thing about online business is we constantly say that anyone can do it. And I 1,000,000% believe that. But in any other job I've ever worked, do you know what I did for my first 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks? I watched someone else that was standing right next to me show me everything they did. And the really hard thing about online business is we do a lot of telling people what to do and not so much about how to do. And so we have some people that are naturally gifted in certain areas that things start to click and work for just because they have a natural gift in that specific area. But they don't always know how to teach that specific gift. And so we end up with a lot of advice that sounds like this: go do it more, go try it more, go practice it more. But we've got a lot of people shooting basketballs like they're footballs that are bricking shot after shot after shot, wondering, when the hell is this going to pay off? And if we're not careful, we accidentally, and I don't think anyone has ever done it on purpose, ever. I don't think there's people out there with ill intent. So please hear me. That is not what I think. But if we're not careful, we can accidentally string people along for something without giving them what they really need to be successful. Does that make sense? I want you to take a peek at this. When we don't take the time to learn the necessary skills, we trick ourselves into thinking we have a business when we really just have an expensive hobby. Can I say that one more time? When we don't take the time to learn the necessary skills, we trick ourselves into thinking we have a business when we really just have an expensive hobby. Guys, posting on the internet does not make you a business owner. I have kids that post. I actually don't let my kids have social media, but there are kids, I should say, that post on social media every single day and they don't expect to get a paycheck for it. But we often, because we're not really sure exactly what to do, and please hear me out, I do not mean in any way to create any judgment or shame. Please hear my heart, okay? What I want to do is open your mind so that you can create an awareness of what it actually takes to make. How many of you are here because you want to make money? You want to build a life of freedom. You want to create a better life for your family, and you want to make a difference and help other people in the process, right? And if that's the case, I don't know about you guys, I just like to be told the truth. like if it takes this amount of work, I'm okay with that. I'm down to do the work. I just want to know what this amount of work actually is. Is anybody with me on that? Jazzies, if that's you. Okay, so here's what we got to do, my friends. I want you to grab a screenshot of this. Okay, you can write it down if you want to also, but screenshots are sometimes just a little bit faster. When you learn how to prioritize and master the right skills, you can finally become a six-figure earner without working all day and night and exhausting yourself. When you learn how to prioritize and master the right skills, that is the asterisk that should be right next to every post we say saying anyone can do this. Again, I actually do believe that anyone can do this because unlike sports, we don't cut people after 10 people are on the team. There really is more than enough room on the internet for anybody who wants to be there, for anybody who wants to make a difference, but we can't pretend that there's not certain skills required in order to do it. Does that make sense? So tonight I want to talk to you about the skills it does take. Because I also think there's some confusion sometimes when there's like, does anybody ever get a little exhausted and overwhelmed with all the things on the internet you could be doing to grow your business? Show me, Jay. Like, you see one ad after another ad, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. And then before you know it, you're like, I have a to-do list of 50 different things I should be doing to grow my business. And John Maxwell taught me this other really powerful philosophy. It's called the Pareto Principle. How many of you have heard of that? The Pareto Principle says, it's also known as the 80-20 rule. It says that we normally, human behavior, spends 80% of our time doing things that get us 20% of our results. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a real big waste of time. Spending 80% of my time to get 20% of our results, and then we accidentally spend 20% of our time that gives us 80% of our results. In other words, we have a couple things we do that are really freaking effective, and then a bunch of other things we do that just kind of take up time and space that make us feel like we were working hard. Does that make sense? And he taught me this. He said, Josh, when you find the thing that gets you 80% of your results, this is one of the number one ways I've helped my clients just skyrocket with working less. When you find the things that move your business forward the fastest, stop spending 20% of your time doing it and spend 80% of your time doing it. You'll 4x your results. just like that without giving any extra time. How many of you can agree that we all have things in our business we kind of have to do to just like manage things that don't necessarily make us money? Show me jazzies if right? Like we got to check in on the Facebook group, right? Like it's like 500 people in the Facebook group for this. I got to check in and see if someone had a question or tagged me, like someone right before the call was like, I can't find the link. So I had to post the link. Like, that didn't make me any money, but it was something that needed to be done, right? What if we took 20% of our time to do the management tasks and spent 80% of our time doing the things that actually moved us forward and made us money? Does that make sense? Would anyone want to just see the cheat code for someone who's already done the work, who's life coached people for 10 years and helped 6 different people and different companies hit top 10? I've helped dozens of people hit the 6-figure mark. Can I just give you the cheat code to the things that make you the most results the fastest? Would that be okay? I have a name for it, and I call it the performance triad. And when you focus on these 3 things, this is another powerful lesson to learn from life coaching. I got lots of hidden lessons tonight, okay? Anything more than 3, you'll get overwhelmed. Anything fewer than 3 isn't enough to actually move the needle forward. 3 is a really, really, really powerful number. So I want to show you the performance triad. This is what we're going to be jamming on tonight and a little bit tomorrow. Number 1, and you can grab a screenshot of this if you want to, the psychology of mindset. Notice it's not just mindset, and we'll dig into that in a second. There's more to it than just mindset. The psychology of sales and marketing, and high performance leadership systems. Now, I will say that if you get good enough at the mindset and sales and marketing, you can often get to 6 figures without the leadership. It's just that if you have the leadership, it's going to save you a lot of time and energy along the way because of the thing we talked about earlier. Dragging people up the mountain is not a fun way to do things. When you have high performance leadership systems put into place, like what John Maxwell taught me, you create a performance culture of people that actually run with you. Does that make sense? So we're going to dive into these things, and actually we're going to hit number 1 and number 2 tonight. Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the high performance leadership system. Okay. And we're going to dig into a little bit more on that tomorrow. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have basically speed dating interviews, speed dating style, I should say, not actual speed dating style interviews with a whole bunch of 6 and 7 figure leaders so that we can pull from their experience and the things that have worked well for them. Does that sound good? Cool. So let's dig in first. First thing we're going to dig into is this psychology of mindset, or actually, if you want to get more technical, schmechnical, kudos if you know that 90s movie, it's understanding the psychology of the subconscious mind. How many of you have heard the terminology subconscious mind, subconscious, conscious mind? Have you ever heard that terminology? Maybe you might have taken a psychology class in college. It's funny because I didn't learn anything about psychology until I got certified as a life coach. And now when I bring it up, people who have doctorates are like, I've never actually thought of it for my business. I've always thought of it as like psychology. I've never actually attached it to what I'm doing in my business. So I want to talk to you tonight about the psychology of the subconscious mind, and how it could be holding back your business. So is anybody else here like to work out? Show me jazzies if you like to work out. I love to work out. It's literally Mandy's flexing for us. I'm not going to try to compete with that. I freaking love to work out. It's literally my like daily therapy every single morning. Sometimes I wish I could still compete in sports, but at 5'9", 170 pounds, there just wasn't a lot of room to go further for me in sports. But I love to work out. It's literally like my daily therapy. But in 2020, I was working out here in my room. Has anyone ever seen the Bowflex weights where you spin the dials and it changes to different weights? I was using those, and it was leg day, which is not Josh's favorite day, by the way. Josh hates leg day. And now I hate it even worse because the story that I'm about to tell you. I was doing um I was doing some squats, okay? And I think I dialed them to like 45s or something like that. And I went to pick up the dumbbells. The thing I really love about the Bowflex is you got like so many different weights in one. The thing I hate about it is you got to like bend over and spin the things and then pull it up and out of the thing. So sometimes, oh, someone can't see what I'm screen sharing. That's weird. So sometimes it gets kind of caught in there. You got to like really yank it out, right? Well, apparently Josh doesn't have the best form for picking things up, he found out that day. So Josh goes up to pick these 40s and they kind of get caught. So I'm just like yanking them out of there. And Josh feels like a piece of paper ripping in half across his lower back from one side to the other, literally rips like a piece of paper. And I just fall to the ground. I screamed like a little girl, but probably a lot louder. And my wife came running up to check on me. And I'm just a grown man laying in the floor crying. Like I'm just laying in the floor crying because my back has just been ripped in half and it hurt like hell. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't move. My wife was like, I'm going to call 911. And of course, because I'm a grown man, I was like, you don't need to call 911. I'm going to be fine. I just need to, rest. I just need to. She was like, can you sit up? And I was like, no, I literally, she's like, I'm calling 911. So an ambulance came, carried me down the stairs in a stretcher, which is a real fun experience as a grown man to be carried down a flight of stairs by firefighters because you got hurt while trying to lift weights, right? And I went to the hospital during COVID. That was super fun. They didn't want me there. They tried to send me home, but I couldn't sit up. They were like, legally, we can't send you home unless you can walk. So we need you to get up and walk. And I was like, I can't even sit up. Two women eventually forced me onto my feet to try to make me walk, and I just fell over to the ground. So they put me back in bed, wouldn't let me have a room because they were all full, which is fine. So I just laid in the hallway crying. They kept giving me pain pills and muscle relaxers to try to get me to walk. They just wanted to send me home, which I understand. They had a lot of other things going on that were more serious than this crybaby. Eventually, I got home. I rehabbed. I literally had to walk around. If you go back far enough in my Instagram, you'll see it. I literally had to walk around with a walker for an entire month while my back recovered. Went to physical therapy. And here's the crazy thing. I got kind of back to normal, but I was never the same. I'd be at the gym, I'd be working out, and I would just bend a weird way. It would like resplit. And I'd have to take a week off. Have to do my rehab moves. Would go back to the gym. And it didn't matter how much physical therapy I got. I was like, this is my life. My back is just going to be kind of screwed for the rest of my life. Then I went to a new chiropractor that my wife was using, and he takes some x-rays. Now, guys, I had x-rays done on my back 3 different times at this point. But this time, my chiropractor, this new chiropractor, comes in and he says, hey, Josh, did you know you have a deformed spine? I said, huh? He said, not like because of the accident that you had. Like, it's like I can tell it's genetic. You were born this way. You are missing shock absorbers on your lower right side, and you have extra ribs on your left side. Now, based on that, if I had to guess, your left arm is probably bigger than your right arm. And I said, yeah, which I always thought was weird because I'm right-handed. I don't know why. When I go to do my measurements every 30 days, my left arm is always bigger. It makes no sense. He said, based on it, I'd, imagine you have pain when you do these certain things. And for the first time, someone didn't just give me some workout moves to do and send me on my way. They literally diagnosed the root of the problem and gave me the tools I needed to actually fix it. Now, if you didn't figure out where I was going by now, talking about your mindset. This is really, really, really important. until you actually learn how to diagnose the root cause of what's happening up here. Not just read another book, even though that's good. Not just do some more affirmations, even though that's good. Until you literally learn how to diagnose the root cause up here. You're putting Band-Aids on broken bones and wondering why nothing is getting fixed. Did you catch that? How do you do that though? Which part? The story or the well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to jam on that, friend. We're going to jam on that. This is really important, friends. I have found that most people think mindset is one of two things. Tell me if you've ever thought of it this way, even if you're just now realizing it. 1, positivity. 2, willpower. I talk to a lot of people that think they have amazing mindsets, and the reality is they just have positivity. Can I tell you how positivity can accidentally turn into toxicity? Is that a word? I might have just positivity, toxicity. It sounded like they kind of rhymed. That's why I went with it. I don't even know if it's a real word. Here's why. Have you ever been struggling in your business and you use positivity to cover up the fact that something actually needs to get fixed? And so instead of fixing the thing that is actually wrong with your business, you just keep telling yourself, just keep showing up, just keep trusting, just keep doing it. It's eventually everything is going to work out. And again, that's like my kid throwing the basketball like a football at the goal. And I'm like, don't worry, it's all going to work out in your favor, buddy. God is working out all things for your good. And I don't mean to mock scripture. I actually do believe that is a powerful and amazing thing to live by if you don't brush off your responsibility of what it actually takes. See the difference there? Sometimes instead of taking responsibility and instead of taking ownership, we pass off the responsibility and are really more just hoping things eventually get better, but they don't. We keep surviving, so we think it's working, but it's not actually getting better. Now, the second one is willpower. And I find this happens with a lot of high performers. If you are a little bit more of like a naturally driven, competitive person, sometimes you think you have an incredible mindset because of your ability to push through whatever bullshit pops up. And that is not necessarily a good mindset, or if we want to really, I want you guys to write this word down, belief system. And we're going to chat a little bit more about that. Okay. Most people just say mindset. It's just like this generic thing, but we have an actual belief system. Okay. And to just bulldoze your way through anything that gets in your way does not mean you have a solid belief system. It just means you have a really powerful willpower and work ethic, which again is good. I love the fact that you have willpower. I love the fact that you have that kind of like, I'm just going to go for it mentality. But let's back up for a second to the injury. Do you know why I tweaked my back over and over and over before I found my chiropractor? Because I had the kind of willpower that said, I don't care. I'm going to show up and lift weights because I want to get results. I want to move forward. What happens when you push forward in spite of an injury? You make it worse. I've seen so many people, and it's made me so sad. And I really just wish they would have hired me. I've seen so many people willpower their way to 6 figures and even 7 figures, only to need a 9-year yoga retreat to recover. Nothing in the world makes me more sad than seeing someone who was just an absolute spark of light that has to go hide for 9 years to recover and never wants to talk to people ever again. Never wants to have to support their team again because they're just so burned out on it. Never wants to be a leader again because they get so burned down on it. A purpose is a beautiful thing unless you take that purpose and you try to carry its burden too much and too often until it paralyzes you. And so true work on the mindset, or the belief system, I should say, I want to kind of show you what it looks like. Let me pull this up. This is a fun little graphic. I always like to joke. I spent 3 years working on this graphic tirelessly, went to graphic design school. It's just a joke. It's just a stick figure. This was one of the first things that I learned in life coaching. We have a subconscious mind. This is our permanent beliefs. And by permanent, I don't mean infinite. I just mean it's much harder to change. This essentially is what I would coin our actual belief system. We have the conscious mind that's just temporary. Thoughts and feelings coming in and out all of the time. Then we have our feelings, our actions, and then eventually success. Now, this is really, 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 really important. Our subconscious mind is the lens by which we see everything in this world. Two people can look at the exact same thing. If you don't believe me, try to have a political talk with someone that believes differently than you. Two people can look at the exact same fact and interpret them completely different ways. Can we agree with that? Your interpretation of reality is what gets us in trouble. Our interpretation is rooted in something, usually from our past, usually some type of adopted thing that we've grabbed along the way. I call it our adopted identity. This is one of the things that makes business so hard, is we have this adopted identity that's fighting against the new thing we want to do. Okay. I also call this our caveman DNA. Its literal job is to keep us safe. Okay. It just wants to keep us safe. That's it. That's all it's trying to do. But your subconscious mind does not know the difference between trigger warning, a father who yelled and screamed at you, versus a stranger on Instagram who ghosts you. It literally doesn't know how to tell the difference. And so what happens is we get these stories, as I like to call them, programmed into our subconscious, and then that becomes the lens by which we see everything else around us. So if in our subconscious mind, at some point in our life, we have adopted a story that says, how about this one? I'm not good with people. Anyone ever thought that before? Then we go into every single post and every single conversation already seeing I'm not good with people. And we interpret everything that happens through that lens of, well, I guess I'm not good with people. And how many of you could tell that if you go into a conversation already assuming you're not good with people, that's probably not going to turn out in your favor, is it? Versus the person that goes in, you don't even have to be positive about it. You can just be neutral about it and just have the conversation, right? You don't even have to have some invincible confidence. Okay. Or how about this one? Going back to something I've already talked about a couple times. I'm a bad leader. If you have at some point adopted that story, you go into every single conversation assuming you're going to fail the person before you ever get a chance. And what do you think your energy is like? And what do you think your action is like when you go into the situation already convinced that you're going to fail someone? Are you going to try very hard for a situation you've already convinced yourself you're going to fail at? When you think about creating that six-figure success, and I asked all of you earlier, you know, what's the biggest problem? What's the hardest thing? And most of you brought up mindset stuff, right? As long as you are dealing with that, it's going to be very, very, very hard to create success because you basically have an injury you're trying to work through. So until we actually address the injury, address the root of it, and actually do the work to fixing it and repairing it, we're going to just be continually playing through an injury. Does that make sense? This is really important, friends. No one's going to tonight make $1 million based on what you heard. This is the start of learning. This is the start of awareness. But notice the slide earlier said when you master these skills. Okay. So please hear me out when I say this takes some time. No one can just reprogram their whole subconscious mind by the end of the call. You're going to feel like it. You're going to feel energetic and high. And oh my God, this is amazing. You're going to wake up tomorrow. The kids are going to throw up on you and you're going to be reminded, oh yeah, I do still have limiting beliefs. My bad. Okay. What I want to help you do tonight is just become aware of these things and understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling and why you might be stuck, and give you some tools to help you move further. Okay. This is one of the reasons, even in my sales and marketing programs, we do a ton of life coaching, because I want to show you this. This is the quote that just, I think I just fell out of my seat. And then we're going to move on to some sales and marketing stuff. But I want you to grab a screenshot of this, because this will change your life forever. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Guys, in my 20s, I actually started like 5 different businesses and I quit every single one of them. I'd get excited, get energized, like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. This is going to change my life. It's going to be so good for my family. And then 3 or 4 weeks in, I'd run into what felt like a brick wall. I didn't know it. I didn't know what that was called. I didn't know psychology back then. I was essentially running into my limiting beliefs that were flooding me full of emotions, warning me unsafe, 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 unsafe. And because I didn't know how to process it, because I didn't know how to deal with it, because I didn't know what to do about it, the only thing I could figure out that would shut up the voices and the feelings was to just quit. You ever felt that way before? Even as a hard working, competitive, high performer, I couldn't push through these brick walls because they were hurting my head too bad. I just stopped beating my head on it. But the reality is, if we do the right work on your subconscious mind, we can actually remove the brick walls. We can actually create in your subconscious mind a pattern and a routine of recognizing the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. Does that make sense? Real threat, meaning someone almost ran me off the road in my Bronco and I had to react in a split second. I don't know how the hell I did it, but I somehow kept from dying because my subconscious mind kicked in and helped me. Okay. Perceived threat, meaning I'm on social media and I have an ad running, and because I have this video that I spend money on that's just getting hundreds of views every single day. Every other day, someone likes to pop in and comment some stupid troll comment of like, this guy just cares about money. What an asshole, blah, 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 blah. And I've had to train my brain. That's not a real threat. That's a 35-year-old dude in his basement playing Fortnite who took a break to watch some Instagram videos and found mine. Nothing against 35-year-old guys. I'm a 40-year-old guy, but I'm just saying that's not a real threat. Question: how many of you have things in your day-to-day business routine that are currently triggering you in some way, are currently like feeling like a brick wall that's keeping you from moving on to the next thing you want to pursue? And guys, this could be someone who is struggling to make any sales. This could be someone who's making 10 to 20 sales a month, but wants to be making 40 or 50. This could be someone making, like I said earlier, someone making $1 million a year, but they're trying to get to that multi-million-dollar mark. And something in here is telling them that they're selfish for wanting more. There's some powerful things that hold us back, friends. And what I have found is each new level brings some new devils to come hang out with us and try to pull us back down to earth. So we have to learn how to deal with those things. Okay. Some of you took us up on our free mindset call that we offered. Some of you didn't, because you're like, I don't know what the hell that is. This is what it is. and those are still available if you want to go book your one-on-one call. I essentially have a team of double certified life coaches. So I run my own life coach certification. They've gotten certified through me and then done a full-on master coach program. And once they graduate those things, then they become master coaches on my team. And we literally, when you guys do one of our free trainings, we offer you a totally free call to help you dig through some of the stuff that's holding you back. So if you didn't book that, feel free to go back into your emails, grab a link for that, and book one. Okay. Now, I'm going to move on to the sales and marketing part. Is that cool? Anybody here want to learn how to make more sales, make more money without being icky and spammy and gross? Is that cool? We ready to move on to that? Has everybody still got 23 more minutes for me? If you have to leave again, it's totally okay. This is being recorded. Everyone gets access to the night 1 recording. Okay. But if you want access to day 2, 3, and 4, you have to upgrade to VIP. It's $27. Probably the cheapest you're ever going to get this many trainings and this many teachings for a whole week. Okay. But I did want to just throw this out there because at the end of tonight, I'm going to share some details on one of the programs that I run that combines some really powerful life coaching along with some incredible sales and marketing. I'm going to share about that at the very end of the call. But just in case you got to leave early, I wanted to just give kind of a quick little, you ever listen to a podcast? There's like a mini commercial in the middle. This is the mini commercial to the podcast. Okay. We do done for you marketing where I literally help you write your posts based on sales psychology. We have life coaching calls to address your subconscious beliefs. We have a daily tracker, monthly challenges. It's really freaking powerful. If you're interested and you're like, I got to jump off earlier, you're just not sure if you're going to make it till the very end, you can literally go fill out this application that I just put in the comments. If you fill out the application, we're literally going to send you copies of both of my books for free. Just going to send them to you as a gift. And we're going to hook you up with a call with one of our master coaches so that they can jam with you and talk to you a little bit more about the details for that program. Sound good? Okay, now let's move on because I really want to dig into, did you guys notice how in the performance triad it said the psychology of mindset and the psychology of sales and marketing? Did you guys know that there is a psychology behind sales and marketing? Did you know that the point of social media is not to just make noise? It's to make the right kind of noise that actually get people leaning in, curious, and wanting to work with you. Does anyone feel like, I really wish I could get more engagement? And also, I really wish that the people who did engage actually turned into buyers instead of people that just watch my stories over and over and over. Does anybody have those people that watch your stories a million times, but they've never bought anything? I had someone that I was chatting with the other day, and she said, Josh, I've actually got a great system going where I'm getting ongoing followers, but like none of them are buying anything. And I said, cool, we can fix that with some sales psychology. So here's what I want to talk to you about. How many of you have ever been, I know not everyone goes to the mall these days, but how many of you have ever been to a mall and seen the guy that like sells the flat irons? You guys seen that guy? I found that some malls have like a container guy, but at my mall, both places that I grew up, Wichita, Kansas, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, there's this guy and he's in a kiosk at the mall. He's got this kiosk set up like right outside of American Eagle. Okay. Woodland Hills. Hell yeah, Ryan. And his goal is to try to make eye contact with every single person that walks by. Is this starting to sound familiar? Some of you didn't know you had a flat iron guy, but you know what I'm talking about now, right? And if you, Promenade, I forgot we got some Tulsa people on tonight. That's so awesome. And so at some point, if you accidentally look up and make eye contact with this guy, you know what happens, don't you? Some of you have fallen for it. Some of you have accidentally made eye contact with him. And then he had this brilliant script that he's like, and then you're sitting in a chair and he's doing your hair. And the next thing you know, you walk away and you accidentally spent $300 and you don't even know what happened, right? And you're like, oh my God. How many of you, because of the flat iron guy, you know exactly where he's at. and you avoid him like the plague. You walk to the other side of the hall or find a different entrance because you do not want to have to accidentally make eye contact with the Flatiron guy. Meanwhile, American Eagle is over here, and people are just walking in willingly, touching things, trying on things, buying things. How many conversations do you think the Flatiron guy has per day versus what American Eagle needs to have? And how many sales do you think the Flatiron guy has compared to American Eagle? Can we all agree that the Flatiron guy is probably having 10 times the amount of conversations to have 1/10 of the sales? Show me Jazzies. Now, just to be clear, people at American Eagle have to work hard too, right? But there's a better system created that creates traffic, the right people, and then gets them buying things without begging. Now, I'm just curious. How many of you feel like your current strategy is a little more like the Flatiron guy and a little less like the American Eagle? Or maybe you were so triggered by the Flatiron guy that you said, there's no way in hell I'm doing business like that. I'm going to do business more like American Eagle, but nobody's coming into the store and nobody's buying anything. So you're like, now I went the opposite way. I'm smarter than that. I ain't about to be no Flatiron guy, but nobody's walking in my door and nobody's trying on clothes and nobody's buying anything. When we get it right, this is so important. When we understand the power of messaging and getting it right, it naturally attracts the right people, which is very important, by the way. Flatiron guy, don't care if you're the right or wrong. He's just talking to every single. It naturally attracts the right people and has a system set up to churn watchers into buyers. Does that make sense? When we have the right system, again, I'm an advocate for hard work. I really freaking am. I'm not here to try to sell anybody a get-rich scheme, okay? I'm an advocate for hard work, but John Maxwell taught me to be a smart worker in addition to being a hard worker. Some people will say, well, why work hard if you can work smart? And I say, why don't you just do both? I actually like working hard when I'm doing it in a smart way that gets me results. I ain't got a problem with hard work, friends. I will work hard. Just give me the right things to do to make sure I'm moving in the right direction. Does that make sense? So I want to teach you how to do that tonight. And I want to show you one of my favorite things in the world. This is what all of my messaging is structured around. It's something. So by the way, all of my messaging comes from what I saw happening in life coaching sessions where I'm asking powerful questions to get other people to open up. And I'm realizing, wait a second, there are specific questions we can ask that get people to open up and get people to move forward by their own will. What if we just implemented that into our sales and marketing instead of just yelling and screaming at it? And I get it. It might feel like I'm yelling and screaming at you tonight. This is a presentation and I drank a lot of pre-workout. Okay. So this is not sales right now. This is teaching and presenting. Okay. But I want to introduce you to something that I call the belief bridge. Okay. Now, this is a broken bridge. For those of you that cannot see my slides, I apologize. Basically, there is a right side and a left side, and this is a broken bridge with an alligator waiting underneath the broken bridge because alligators are my greatest fear in life. I've almost drowned twice in my life, and I'm scared to death of alligators because they can get me in the water or on land. It doesn't feel fair. So what we have is someone over here, and this is our ideal client. This is us on the other side. Now tell me this. How many of you, I want to look at your faces for a second. Sorry. How many of you have gone through a transformation because of your products and business opportunity? Show me Jazzies. How many along that path have learned new words? Show me Jazzies. Hopefully you've learned new words. How many of you have taken on new values? Like maybe you used to not care about your health at all, and now you're like, that's a very important thing to me. How many of you learned new ways of doing things? And here's what happens. We go through a personal transformation, which is a beautiful thing. Okay. But in our transformation, we forget who the hell we used to be and how we used to talk and what we used to call things and what we used to care about. We forget why we signed up. Russell Brunson, who is a marketing genius, says that we buy for emotional reasons and then explain it to others with logical reasons so we don't sound stupid. So we'll buy something because of the emotional experience and then go try to logical it to other people so that we sound more like a normal person. This is why 99% of people, when they get a new car and you say, "Oh my God, I love your new car," they say, "Thanks, I got a good deal." Has anyone ever heard that before? "Hey, I love your new shirt. Thanks, it was on sale." Like, we're constantly apologizing for the things we've spent money on and trying to explain that it's not as big of, like, "Oh, it might look like a fancy car, but I promise I got a good deal." We're trying to make ourselves feel better about the purchase that we made. So we get to the other side of the bridge and we are a completely transformed new person. And that is the best thing in the world for our personal growth and the worst thing in the world for our sales and marketing. Because we accidentally go on social media and regurgitate a bunch of stuff that no one even knows what we're talking about. Can I give you some examples? Going to pick on some of my health coaches for a second. I love you guys so much. Please don't take offense to what I'm about to say. I love you so freaking much. Our superfood smoothie has 150 superfoods. Cool story. Who in their entire life has been sitting on the couch watching a movie, cuddled up with your significant other or your kid or your dog, whoever likes to cuddle? Me and my wife are both cuddlers, so I got lucky there. We both cuddle, and then Amaya, our 8-year-old, comes and jumps on top of us, and then our dog comes and lays his head on top of us. We're cuddlers. How many of you have ever been sitting on the couch, struggling with life, frustrated with your health, maybe frustrated with the way you look or whatever, and gone, if I could only get 150 superfoods, that would fix everything. Has anyone ever thought that? I haven't. Now, once you learn to value your health, all of a sudden the amount of superfoods you can get in your diet becomes an important thing. But to the person who is sitting on their couch, struggling and frustrated with life, they don't care. And so really good messaging, if you notice, American Eagle puts out very specific things on display, don't they? To get your attention, to make you care, to make you want to walk in. They are leaning into human desire. When you don't do messaging right, you fight against human desire. That's a really bad way to try to do sales and marketing, or even leadership or communication, which tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about how all of this relates to leadership. But for the sake of sales and marketing, I can tell you one thing you do not want to do is you do not want to fight against someone's human nature. You want to get in alignment with it. How many of you, it's really important that you do things that are in alignment with who you are and what you believe and what you care about and what you value? Well, guess what? Really good sales and marketing serves people where they are at so that they can make a purchase out of alignment with who they are. Does that make sense? And we can only learn these things when we get better at listening. This is crazy. This will blow your mind. Really good sales is less about talking and more about listening. I learned this from life coaching. The more life coaching sessions I did, the better I got at sales because I spent so much time listening to what other people were telling me they cared about. Sometimes they said they struggled with motivation, but when I dug 3 layers deeper, I found out that they actually sucked at time management. Sometimes they said they sucked at time management, but as I took 3 levels deeper, it was actually motivation. And here's where really powerful messaging happens. When you listen to enough people that you start to collect data and you go, oh, 80% of my people, remember the 80-20 rule? 80% of my people say this same thing. And when I repeat these words back to them, they immediately lean in and want to know more. Can I give you guys a really good example that you all fell victim to? Push for diamond. That's your words, not mine. I've never done network marketing, ever. All I've done is taking the life coach and leadership principles that John Maxwell taught me and helped a shit ton of network marketers. But I'm not here to actually teach specifically on the exact metrics it takes to get to diamond. How could I do that? You're all from different companies, right? Every one of your companies has diamond means a totally different thing. And some of your companies don't even have diamond. You kind of just got the hint that like this is some type of a rank advance thing, right? I have helped thousands of people create 6-figure businesses by teaching them what I'm teaching you tonight. My job, write this down. My job as a marketer is to get their attention based on what they want. My job as a coach is to deliver what I know they actually need. Did you get that? My job as a marketer is to get their attention based on what they want. I got to lean into what they are saying, what they are feeling, what they are wanting, what they are needing. And then once they get there, of course, I need to deliver on the promise that I made. I need to make sure that what I'm teaching gets them what they said they want. But I get to take things further and deeper by giving them what they need once they're inside the room. Does that make sense? And so I want to give you can I give you some don'ts? Can I give you some don'ts of posting? Would that be okay with you guys? I want to give you some things because I'm going to actually give you the first 2 steps of the belief bridge. I don't want to give you the whole thing because I don't want to overwhelm you and give you too many things to try to figure out tonight, okay? That's something we work on inside my 626 group, okay? But we have what they want, okay? That's the first step of the belief bridge. The second thing is their limiting beliefs around what they want. Remember all that talking we just did about the subconscious mind and how we all have stories in here? Did you know every single human being you're talking to on social media has their own stories? And that when you even say what they want, they're immediately triggered by what they're afraid of. And so really good messaging. Can I take you guys a level deeper? Is that okay? Really good messaging calls out to what they want and overcomes the limiting belief they have about it all in one. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I promise it's doable. It's doable. Remember, I said we got to master these things, okay? Now, I want to walk you through some bad examples. I'll repeat that. What did I just say? Oh, is what I said. Really good messaging combines what they want and overcomes the limiting belief they have about getting it all in one. And when you do it really well, I've done it like 10 times tonight, and you didn't even notice. When you do it really well, people don't even notice because they never had a chance to have the limiting belief. You overcame it or went around it before it ever showed up. Does that make sense? Now, I want to give you some examples of going against the belief bridge. Here's some ways that people accidentally fight against human behavior, okay? First one, our product is gold certified and has 150 superfoods. I already hit that one on, but it's like any information about your product that's not related to the problem they are trying to solve does not need to be talked about. It just doesn't. It's just extra noise that's not going to get engagement. It's not going to get attention. It's just noise. Okay. Second thing, this is, I've seen so many people do this. And if you've done this, I'm so sorry. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Please hear my heart. If you can support your local boutique, why can't you support your friend's network marketing business? I want you to think about this for a second. I've seen so many people that are like, every time I bring up network marketing, people are like, ew, gross. I don't want anything to do with network marketing. How come you can support your local boutique, but you can't support me? Now, what kind of vibe does that give you? I'm just going to be super honest. I've had to have this conversation with a couple friends. I had a realtor friend that was like, man, I can't even believe it. I have good friends that chose someone else over me. Can you believe that, Josh? I was like, yeah, I can actually. He's like, huh? What? What do you mean? I said, well, I wouldn't want to hire my friend because if you do a shitty job, I don't want to have to call you and be like, hey, Evan, you kind of suck. Can you be better? I don't want to have to tell my friend that. I would rather work with a professional that I don't know so that we can have a professional relationship and it doesn't have to get weird. Also, it is not their, come on, it is not their job to care at all about your goals or your dreams or your future. That's your job. So this is kind of almost like, it's kind of like when people like 20-year-olds, I don't know if you guys have any like nieces, nephews, or anything that's like 20-year-old posts on Facebook that they're in the worst mood ever just to try to get people to like, oh no, what's wrong with you? And you're like, oh, they're just like looking for attention right now. We don't want to be looking for attention. Okay. We want to serve the person that's listening, not shame them. This is a really, really, really important one. We have to be very careful not to let our frustration out in posts. Okay. Now, another one. This is the community I didn't even know I needed. Now, why in the world would we try to advertise something that no one knows they need? Does that make sense? Literally on our call this morning for the 626, we had a girl and I was asking, what is your person, what do you provide? And she kept talking about community. And I was like, here's the thing. Community's awesome. I love community, but no one is sitting around looking to swipe a credit card to get a few new friends. Okay. We got to solve problems. Community is a bonus that comes with the solution. Okay. It is not our job to be people's besties. It's our job to solve their problem. And then, of course, we can become friends along the way, but people are not buying community. They're buying solutions to their problems. Does that make sense, everyone? Now, the last one that I'm going to throw out there is probably going to throw you for a surprise because a lot of people think that this is the right way to do things, but I want to explain it to you. The last one is, if I can do it, you can do it. Now, I know that one sounds really positive and it sounds really good, but I want to explain to you why this doesn't work very well. Paxton, who I had to teach how to throw a football and how to throw a basketball, went through 3 open heart surgeries when he was younger. He's good now. He's great now. But when he was young, it was a really hard time. Okay. And our church would bring us dinner. They'd take turns bringing us dinner at the hospital every night, which was super cool. Appreciated it so much. However, when people bring you dinner at the hospital, you have to pay a toll. And that toll is talking to them for 30 minutes. They feel they earned the right to hang out and talk for 30 minutes and find out what the doctors said and this and this and this and this and this. And I swear, so many people would go, Josh, I'm just so sorry. I know exactly what you're going through. When my son was born, he had a really bad cough and we had to hang out in the NICU for 2 days. And I would just want to punch him in the face. Thank you so much for bringing me dinner, but you do not know what I am going through. Your son had a cough. My son is hooked up to 40 machines. At any point, any one of them could go out and he could lose his life. You do not know what I'm going through. Now, here's the thing. In reality, all human struggle is the same, but it's also totally and completely different. And the last thing anyone who is struggling wants to hear is that you have been where they are. Nobody wants to be told that your problem is the same as theirs, especially while they're sitting on their couch crying to their husband and you're on Instagram sharing motivational quotes and dancing around and pointing at words and everything is going to be great. Your problems are not the same as their problems. They have their own unique problems that they're going through on a day-to-day basis. And the last thing someone needs is for someone else to tell them they get it. What they need is for you to listen and for you to care. And when we do our posts, our stories, our emails, our messaging the right way, we always create space and grace. And that makes people want to lean in. Not because we fully and completely get it, but is there anything in the world that feels more like someone gets it than them actually listening? Than them actually creating a place for you to talk? Does that make sense? This is really important. Our messaging to the masses, meaning our posts and our stories, need to be crafted around creating a space for the listener to be okay and feel heard and seen about their struggle, but then also see that there's a solution. If you go back and watch this workshop, I did that. Why did we walk through all the limiting beliefs? Because I wanted to create a safe space for you to feel like I can struggle and find a solution. I didn't get on here and tell everyone that, well, why don't you just show up and do it anyways? Why don't you just push through? That makes everyone feel like, well, because I'm struggling, because I'm having issues, because I'm hurting, because I'm a human. So really good messaging makes people feel safe and accepted and loved as they are, while giving them a solution to become as they want to be. Does that make sense? One-on-one messaging, I actually have a full-on thing I teach inside my program called Questions That Convert. We literally have questions that we ask to get them to open up and share about their struggles. We shut up about our products. We shut up about all the details and we let them talk, and we guide them to the solution that's going to fix their problems. Does that make sense to everyone? Now, here's what I'd love to do to kind of close out the call. We're going to do giveaways here in just a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. We got 213 people still on live. I appreciate it so freaking much. Here's what I'd love to hear. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel you currently are on what I would call self-confidence? And here's what self-confidence means. It means how much you actually believe in your ability to succeed, even on bad days, even when things aren't going your way, even when things aren't working. Scale of 1 to 10. Lots of different numbers, which is great. We got lots of different people in lots of different places. Now, the second number I'd like to see is on a scale of 1 to 10. If you could send them in the chat to everyone, I'd appreciate it, because every time someone sends me a private message, it makes my response back to a private message instead of everyone. Second thing is on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you feel you are with your messaging? And by that, I mean your ability to attract new people, build engagement, and actually close sales. Okay, lots of numbers still coming through, and I really don't know if you're answering the first one or the second one at this point, but seeing lots of numbers. So 5 been improving. Awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Engagement, yes. Sales, no. Yeah, totally get it. Okay, cool. So question. Before I announce the giveaways, could I take like 2 minutes and talk to you a little bit about the performance small group that I run that helps people to work on their subconscious mind and also teaches them my sales and marketing strategies that are all based on sales psychology, which really I should just say it's all based on life coaching, friends. Life coaching literally changed my life so freaking much, the way I communicate, the way I talk, the way I write posts, emails. Every single thing I do is based on what I learned from life coaching people and learning to become a better listener. I know it's hard to tell from an hour and a half presentation because obviously my job tonight was to talk a lot. But tomorrow, I promise we'll dig into some coaching stuff and you'll see that side of things. Okay, I think I got permission from a lot of people. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of switch a little bit over to slides for a few minutes. So this is what we call the 626 Done With You Performance Small Group. The idea was, how do we take what people actually need to grow a business and package it together? Because so many people do a mindset course, just mindset. And you work on your mindset and you get more confident, but you don't know what the hell to do with it. Or just a sales course. It's like, okay, I got some good sales stuff, but I'm still stuck in my head. I can't do anything with it. How do we put these things together into one group that solves people's problems instead of continuing to just put off one-off courses? How many of you bought a one-off course and never did anything with it? Show me Jazzy's. You like paid for something that's hanging out in your online library somewhere. So we want to create something that is an actual coaching program that gets you moving forward with us and learning what you need to learn and working on the things you need to work on. So the first thing is how to master your belief system and take control of your confidence so that you can show up and take consistent action. Consistent action is an important ingredient of success. Without the right skills, it won't matter, but it's still an important element. Once I teach my kid how to shoot a basketball, he does need to show up and actually shoot it every single day. How to expand your reach and build a powerful audience that is actually excited to work with you and not just watch you. Call this attracting players instead of just fans. How to use the belief bridge to create powerful messaging that attracts the right people in a totally authentic way that actually feels good. I want your posts to feel good to you and your audience. My exact life coaching questions that convert, more sales in less time in the inbox without being salesy or spammy. This is probably my favorite resource in the world for people that already have good traction in their business. They almost always make 3 to 4 sales in their very first week of just implementing this one single thing. Challenges and recognition to make sure you're getting the support and affirmation you need to keep showing up and to know that you're never in this alone. Accountability to my daily tracker so that you know exactly what to do every day and never have to question yourself. Is there anyone that's like, I just wish I had a list of the things I need to do every single day? Like, instead of just making things up and just doing a little of this, doing a like, just give me a list. I'm a hard worker, but tell me what to do. We literally do that in the program. Done With You content creation twice per month. So we do 2 calls a month where I literally unmute people on the call, ask about their product, their ideal client, and we literally write posts together. I try really hard to rotate different companies so that we're writing different posts for different products. And honestly, once you hear me do it for one person in your company, I teach you how to then translate that to like your specific audience. It's usually a few little tweaks that customize it for your audience. Here's what the whole thing looks like. 4-month transformational program, weekly teaching and coaching calls, workbook with all of the learning materials, daily tracker, ongoing challenges and prizes, Facebook group, Done With You messaging and marketing workshop, posting schedule and examples. So we also give you a posting schedule to work off of for ideal engagement, what things to post on what days. What we don't want to do is have 30 paragraph posts every single day. That will literally kill your engagement. So there's different things we can do throughout the week to boost your engagement so that your really important posts get the most eyeballs possible. Okay. Now, when you put all this together, I show $10,000 and here's why. A couple of years ago, this was originally a program that I launched for people coming out of my life coach certification. Okay. And coming out of my life coach certification, I literally was charging them $10,000 for a program almost identical to this. The difference was They were building their own courses and their own coaching programs that they were charging a couple $1,000s for. So they were able to make their $10,000 back a little bit quicker when they're charging $2,000 a product. How many of you here are not charging $2,000 a product? Show me a Jazzy. And so what I did was I took everything that was crushing it for them and said, I want to make this accessible to my network marketing audience that is also struggling with sales and marketing. And so what we did was we took this program. Originally, again, it was priced for life coaches. It was not priced for network marketers. And we marked it down to 5,000. And then I said, I really, really, really want to make this a program for the everyday entrepreneur. I personally built this business while detailing cars full time. I had 3 kids at the time. Now I have 4. And everything I do, I'm constantly trying to think about who is the person that's showing up, hustling in life, trying to balance all the things, and how do I make it doable for everyone without making it cheap? Here's why. Because when you make something too cheap, people don't actually value it enough to really fully take advantage of it. And so I always have to find a middle ground. So what we did was we marked it all the way down to $2,000. So there is a 4-pay option at $500 a month, or you can pay $1,600 up front. So you save an extra $400 for saving up front. Sometimes you have a miles card that you want to put it on. I personally put all of my ad spend and all of my business expenses on a miles card so that I have free trips waiting for me all the time. But basically, this program is the thing that's going to help you to combine the mindset, actually working on your belief system, with the messaging strategies and structure you need to build a successful business. Okay. I did throw in a few bonuses just for fun this week. Does anybody like bonuses? Does anybody like to tell everyone that they got a good deal? Does anyone else? I like your shirt. Thanks. I got it on sale. Cool. So let's go through some fun bonuses. Okay. You're going to get instant access to Facebook and Instagram ads and automation bundle. You don't have to use this, but for those of you that are like really freaking busy and you're like, you know what? I think I'd rather spend $2 or $3 a day on ads to get people coming to my page than have to go find a bunch of people. That's what I teach inside that program. If you were to see my Instagram notifications right now, I've literally got hundreds of notifications just today because of the ads that I run. And a lot of them are just little simple motivation ads, videos, things like that. Some of you have seen those, okay? You're going to get instant access to 6 Days to Diamond, which is a program that I teach that walks you through exactly how to go poll your audience to get all of the data you need for your messaging on the other side. We're also going to allow you to apply all of the money you pay towards my life coach certification in the future, if that's something you choose to do. We have a lot of people that come to our brand, end up wanting to do our full-on life coach certification. So we let you apply the money from this program toward that one. We're also going to hook everyone up with custom Trust Your Heart Voice t-shirt. If you're already in the group and I owe you a t-shirt, it's on the way. We just got our custom order in the other day. Does anybody like free t-shirts? I love free t-shirts. I will wear that forever. And then we're going to do a special workshop this Friday at 9 a.m. Central. This is kind of like a fast track bonus where I'm going to teach you how to turn your customer groups into a breeding ground for business recruits. Is there anyone here that struggles to recruit enough people that you know you need to be recruiting to hit your next rank? Show me Jazzies if that's you. Did you know that if you can sell products, you can recruit business builders if you know how to work sales psychology into your customer group? This will literally blow your mind. I will teach you how to plant seeds inside your customer group that have people wanting to join you on the other side of things. I promise. It's so simple. I teach it in about an hour. It will blow your mind. Some of you aren't selling products yet. That's okay. But for those of you that are selling products, I promise you, if you can sell products, you can recruit people to join the business, even if everyone's already told you a million times they don't want to join. I promise you a couple tweaks to plant the right seeds. But it goes back to what I taught tonight. We can't fight human nature. How many of you are like, I talk to people about the business, they tell me they're too busy. Show me Jazzies. Talk to people about making extra money. They don't want to. I'm going to teach you how to dig into the human desires they already have so that they do want to grow a business, and time and money and all of those things are no longer an issue. Okay. That's going to be a bonus. We're going to do that literally this Friday morning before the program really even starts. Okay. Now, I think is one last thing for anyone who pays up front. I'm going to squeeze in a one-on-one with you in the next 7 days. So if you pay up front tonight, a lot of times when I do free one-on-ones for people, we schedule them 2 or 3 months out. But anyone who pays up front and signs up tonight, I'm going to squeeze you into my calendar in the next 7 days so that we can get on a one-on-one call, work through anything that you're struggling with in your business, and help you get what you need. Okay. Here is the link for this. I'm going to pop it in the chat thread. We close cart Thursday night. Okay. So that's the link. Oh, Chelsea beat me to it. She's so good. That's the link. You can go to sign up if you're ready to just jump right in. I will stick around after we announce the giveaway winners and answer questions for anybody that has questions about the program. Okay. A couple quick little details. The live calls are Monday at noon Central. However, some of you work jobs. And so because of that, I do a once a month Saturday morning call where anyone who can't make Mondays gets first dibs on all questions asked. Okay. So on the once a month Saturday, I say to all of my people who can make it on Monday, I say, I love you and you're welcome to hang out, but you got to shut up today and let the other people have their turn to ask questions. Okay. We do that very intentionally to make some time and space for you to get what you need in the program as well. Obviously, you'll still get the replays from everything else, but once a month, you can bring all the questions you have from watching those replays and dump them on me, and I'll be waiting and ready for you with pre-workout ready to go on a Saturday morning, okay? Let's see. I think that's like probably the number one question we get asked. I'll dig into some more questions that people have about the program as soon as we're done with these giveaways. Let's give away some money. You guys down for that? Does anybody want to win some money tonight? Let's announce that. Some of you have been waiting. Some of you are like, dude, I'm like ready for bed. I already had my glass of wine and I'm already out. And I just want to know if I want $100. So let's go over that real quick. Our $100 winners. Our first one, we've got Wes Jones. I see Wes right here on page 1. What's up, Wes? You just won $100. Our second winner is Deborah Cobb. I'm typing them up here just in case someone isn't listening, or sometimes like, I didn't hear what you said. It's okay. I'm from Oklahoma. I don't even know if I really speak English. We have our own language here. Third one is Amanda Albee. I apologize if I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. I think I got it right. Fourth one is Katie Knuckles. I think it is Knuckles. It's Nuckols. Katie Knuckles. And our fifth one is Crystal Crate. Oh, hi, Crystal. Crystal's been with us for like 8 years. You all won $100 tonight. Here's how you can claim your money. You can email me info@joshcoates.com, and you can request that we either PayPal it to you or that we send you an e-gift card. Okay. PayPal, obviously, you'll get it within half a second. E-gift card means that you can spend it anywhere online. If you'd rather have an Amazon card, we'll send that to you. If you want a Dolce & Gabbana, like whatever is going to let you spend your money where you want to spend it, we'll send it your way. Okay. Those are the winners tonight. And I am going to answer some questions about the program, but I also just want to say for anyone jumping off, thank you so much for hanging with me tonight. I appreciate you so freaking much. I hope you learned some things that are going to help you to immediately take some action in your business. But I really, really, really hope more than anything in the world that tonight gave you hope. John Maxwell says that leaders are dealers in hope. And every freaking time I get on a call, my number one goal is to give someone a lifeline to their hope. Because business can be hard. Life can be hard. Relationships can be hard. Every single person that jumps on a call has something in life that they're struggling with. And man, I hope I gave you some killer strategy. But more than anything in the world, I want you to walk away with hope. That life is worth living. That life is worth giving. That your life means something. Your life is so freaking valuable. And it's so freaking important. And there are people around the world. This is one of the affirmations I say every single morning. I say, how would you show up today if you knew that you were the answer to someone else's prayer? How would you show up today? How hard would you work on yourself if you knew that you were the answer to someone else's prayer? Well, I worked really hard on myself today because I knew that I might be the answer to someone's prayer tonight. And I just hope that I delivered that. I hope that I delivered that energy that you needed, that hope that you needed, that life. I'm wearing long sleeves, so you can't see it, but I have a tattoo of a light bulb right here on my right bicep that's got a lightning bolt in it. And it's my constant life mission to remember that everybody's going through shit. But my greatest mission in life is to be a light in the darkness. Because you know what? If there's already a lit up room, like I got my video lights on right now that are just blinding out my eyeballs, we don't need an extra light. And I think the great mistake we make in life is to think that we need to be perfect or like, well, I'm not good enough. And the reality is, the more shitty everything is around you, the more your light is needed. We've all been through a lot, but the way we shine, the way we stand while going through those things, this is actually my life mission, is something that happened when my son was going through those open heart surgeries. I realized that the way I respond to the hardship in my life might give someone else the hope and the light they need to keep showing up in their hard time. And so that is, my business is just an extension of that mission to continue to light up someone else's day and give them the hope they need to keep going. Okay. So if you need to hop off, all good. If you have questions about the 626 Performance Group, I would love to chat. I would love to jam. Does anyone have a question? If you do, you can drop your question in the comments, or you can literally just say, I have a question. And I'll come. I have everyone currently muted, so I'll have to give you permission to unmute if you chat. I do that on big workshops like this because if not, 20 people, their toddler accidentally unmutes them and there's just like noise everywhere. Babette, am I saying that right? Is it? I'm sorry. I feel like I butchered your name.
Yeah, no, that's
I
perfect.
got it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's
Hi,
a
Fred.
phenomenal call, my friend.
Well,
Oh my
thank you.
gosh.
Thank you
I've been
so
on,
much.
I'm a top leader in my company. I'm
Cool.
burnt out. I do have a business partner. We sponsored 85 people in 2 months. We've got a
Badass.
team of 350 people. I'm not bragging. I'm stuck because I feel like I'm herding cats.
Mm.
And we know we're not duplicatable, and we just don't have duplicatable systems in place, and it's really frustrating. We're working on it, but it's extremely time consuming. My question is this: can a husband and wife do this together?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to pay extra. You don't have to pay extra for this program. Now, our certification, you do have to pay extra because 2 people are getting certified and going through all of the different things and actually have to take turns and take separate tests and all of that. But for the 626, you're more than welcome to sign up as a couple and share the price.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very
Appreciate it.
welcome. You're very welcome.
That you are doing something so special that no one in this industry is doing.
Thank you.
And at first, when you said push for diamond, haven't done it before, I'm like, oh, great. And then the more you kind of went into what you're doing, I was raised up in this industry. My nickname is the MLM brat. I'm turning 60 November, and I've been around some really amazing coaches. I've been coached by some amazing coaches, but dude, you're doing something really special. So
thank you, friend. I appreciate that very much. I really do. Do you just FYI, if anyone is here, if you are a 6-figure earner, I have a separate group. You don't have to join it. You can join the small group if you want to. But if anyone is a 6-figure earner, I have an inner circle specifically for that. It includes 2 leadership calls a month where we dive into duplicating systems and life coaching. It also includes the life coach certification, because I just think that every top leader needs to get certified so they know how to true coach with their people that are having mindset issues. So if if you qualify for that, or you think you might be like close or whatever, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram, or I'm gonna do something crazy just because I'm weird and I just don't care. You can shoot me a text message, anyone on the call, 918-510-5912. That's my personal phone number. It's not a bot. It's not even my assistant or anything. That's like literally my personal number. Okay. So if you're a six-figure earner or on like coming up on being a six-figure earner and you want to like chat more about that, you can shoot me a text message and I'm happy to chat about that. Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, friend. You're very welcome. And I do want to just remind you guys, if you are not sure, you're like, this program's cool, but I really need a little bit to talk about it, and I'd love to just have a one-on-one conversation with someone. I just want to remind you this link that I shared earlier. This link right here is an application for the group that we talked about tonight. Okay. Which you don't have to apply for the group that I pitched tonight. But if you fill this out, it automatically sends you a link to book a call with Chelsea, who is on here with us tonight, probably with her video off because she's got 32 kids running around yelling and screaming just like mine, but mine are downstairs. And basically, she will get on the phone with you. First, she will coach you. She will literally give you a true coaching call to help you get down to the bottom of what's holding you back. And then she can go over more of the details of the program and personalize any questions you have about the program. Okay. That's me with 32 kids. It's true, Elizabeth. Once you have my number, you are my friend. You are my friend. And that's, that's how John Maxwell opens all of his presentations. He says, my name is John and I'm your friend. And I open my calls with, my name is Josh. I'm your push coach. But I'm also your friend. Okay. Yeah, and Chelsea is giving you her phone number right here. I'll copy and paste that. If you want to chat with her and reach out to her, she will squeeze you into her schedule. That's her phone number right there if you want to shoot her a text. Okay. Corey said, what's puke mean? Good question. So you guys want to hear the story behind the let's puke together? So in one-on-one life coaching people, when I asked them the question that I asked you guys at the beginning, if I could remove all the obstacles, all the pain, everything out of the way, you just reach out and grab whatever you want. People told me over and over as they said it out loud. Actually, to be fair, most people don't say the thing they want really bad. You know what they do instead? This is what I do as I'm coaching someone one-on-one. I watch them go like this and get really excited. And then I literally watch them physically run into their own limiting beliefs and come back down and give me an answer with smaller eyes and a smaller smile. And I always look at them and I say, that's a great answer. I love that so much for you. But can I ask, what was the first thought you had? And they always will be like, well, the first thought I had was this, but I was too scared to say that out loud because that didn't seem possible or realistic. And I say, well, here's the thing. I don't help people chase the possible or realistic. I help people chase the impossible and do the unrealistic things because that's why you paid me money. And it'd be real dumb to pay me money to go try to do something realistic that you could have done on your own. So let's go for impossible. And as people say it out loud, the thing they really want for the first time, it's usually been buried in them for months, sometimes years. And as they say it out loud, they always say, I literally feel like I'm going to vomit after saying that out loud. And so after this happened like 10 times, finally I was like, well, then let's just puke together. And that kind of became the motto. Hashtag let's puke together is something we used to have people, like we used to have t-shirts. I still have like tank tops for it. Let's puke together was like our thing for like years. Now with our life coach certification, trust your heart voice is something that we talk about a lot. So I kind of go back and forth between the two things. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's BHAG. It's very similar to the BHAG goal. Cool. Kitty said she has the $77 a month, and that is our membership that we run that only comes with 2 calls a month. It doesn't come with the tracker. It doesn't come with the done with you marketing stuff. It doesn't come with the Saturday calls. It doesn't come with the posting schedule. So yeah, if you want to do the small group that comes with everything we talked about tonight, that is the program we talked about tonight. Let's see. Other questions. Is there a page to see all the groups you are running right now? No, I don't think so. It's basically this simple, guys. I run the small group that we talked about tonight, and I run the certification. And then I have a master coach program for people that go through the certification, graduate. So after people get certified, if they want to spend another year with us, like mastering the life coaching skills, learning new techniques and new things, the way we say it, and I've got a few of them on tonight. Hi, Getterine. The way we say it is, we don't give you the master coach title until you have gotten so good at coaching that I would be willing to let you fill in for me if I had to call in sick on one of my clients, which obviously I don't do that, but that's kind of the idea of it, is they could fill in. Getterine, man, tell you what, you get on a coaching call with her, she will light you up. Some of them are even more push coach than me. Getterine is German, and I don't know what I think the German blood in her is just, I mean, like, she gets in there and gets feisty with people, man. It's badass. She calls me out on my shit all the time. Can you give some info about the certification? Yeah, actually, okay, so gonna throw this out randomly. I don't always talk about this, but we offer a bundled deal where you get the certification and the small group all together. Just one payment, one thing, and you get both of them. If you're interested in that, do me a huge favor and either text me or text Chelsea and we can chat about that option. The life coach certification, I'll just throw it out. We don't have to hide it. The life coach certification is $5,500. Okay. And that's a 3-month program that comes with the small group when you want to do them together. Okay. What's really cool about the certification is we offer a 12 pay on that. So technically the monthly payment on the certification is actually a little cheaper than the small group because you got 12 months to pay it off. Okay. If you're interested in that, you can, again, text my number or Chelsea's number. I'll give you my number again, 510-5912. Holler to my Tulsa peeps. So crazy to have Tulsa people on the call in 10 years of doing this. I think I've only had 2 or 3 people ever from the state of Oklahoma, like, even find me. We got people from all over the country, all over Canada, UK, Australia. I think we had a few people from New Zealand. Kitty's and Okie. What's up, Kitty? Okay. Other questions. Is there a deposit for the cert? Yeah, just the first payment. So again, it's a 12 pay. It's 5,500 divided by 12. What's the math on that? I don't know the math. 5,500 divided by 12. Yeah, so the down payment's $458. Okay, 491. Did I get it wrong? My bad. Did I math wrong? I think it's 458. I think Chelsea did. I think Chelsea mathed wrong. Okay. Is VIP $27 just a digital book? The VIP gets your replays to the whole week. Everyone gets access to tonight's replay, but only the VIP gets the replay for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. Zoom user, if you want refunded your $6.99, just shoot us an email. We'll refund it. Okay. Do you use John Maxwell's life coach training, or is it your own? Good question. Very, very, very good question. So I went through John Maxwell's certification. One of my business partners, Mark, who's the co-creator of my certification, went through Brooke Castilla's life coach school. Not sure if you've ever heard of that. It's a really popular one. We took everything we loved about the 2 programs and mixed it. We took everything we didn't love and got rid of it. Example, neither of those programs offer actual, like, practice coaching. You watch a bunch of modules and then you go practice on your own. And to me, that's like teaching you how to fix a car, handing you like a toolbox and saying, go figure it out. So for us, what we do is we work on the car together. And I actually don't know anything about working on cars. I don't know why I always use this analogy, but we basically have weekly calls where we literally practice together in breakout rooms. We come back, share our experience, share what went well, share what didn't go well so that we can fix it, so that we can improve it, and so that we can get feedback. It's a very, very, very hands-on process. The goal is we're not trying to just get you certified. We're trying to get you good. And there's a really big difference. There's a lot of programs out there that will certify you for writing a check. We want you to be a good coach. That's how you get certified. Okay. And yes, there's always a discount for paying in full. Wow, maybe we should have just pitched the certification tonight. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. The small group. So yeah, and so just to kind of like, for those of you that are going to be here tomorrow morning, we're going to talk a lot more about life coaching because it is the universal leadership tool. Can I give you a sneak peek? Do you want a sneak peek? And shit, you guys are all still here. 9 o'clock Central. It's like 10 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Atlantic. There's a difference between mentoring and coaching. So mentoring is me telling you what I've already done that worked for me. And that is a great thing to do. But it is also very limited. Because as I learned from John Maxwell, it's arrogant and ignorant to assume that someone else can do exactly what you've done and get the same results. So going back to Babette talking about duplicating, okay? There's a healthy way to duplicate, but then there's also an unhealthy way to duplicate. And the unhealthy way would be to kind of try to force people into the same puzzle piece that you are, versus understanding how to truly work with people to essentially become their own puzzle. Does that make sense? And when the two get mixed together, you become a really powerful leader. And that's what I do inside our programs. I put on the mentoring hat when I need to and give you instructions based on what I've done that have worked or what I've helped other people done that have worked. But then sometimes I put on the coaching hat, which is I can tell you're having resistance. So let's ask some questions and dig a little bit deeper and find out if this is out of alignment based on the way you want to do things, or if there's just a limiting belief that's holding you back. And if we're not careful, we can accidentally try to shove. We've all heard the square peg through a round hole, right? And again, if we're going to say that anyone can do this, we need to be prepared as leaders to help anyone. One means individual, right? Do this, and it's going to look a little bit different for everybody. So even inside the small group, you're not going to get certified to coach other people, but please know I will do a lot of coaching. Mark will do a lot of coaching to help you personalize and individualize everything we're doing to make sure, yeah, you have Josh's strategy, but then you also know how to make that your own and do what you want to do with that. Does that make sense? Watermelon through a keyhole. That's fun too. Okay, other questions. I do see that some of my master coaches are in here answering questions for me. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have a question? You can raise your hand. You can use the little Zoom feature that raises your hand. I do want to make sure I address this. A lot of people are like, Josh, I'm like really busy. I don't know if I have time for this program. And the one thing that I always want to say about that is in 1 hour a week, I will teach you how to do all of the things you're already doing more effective. Okay. So this isn't something where it's like, you're going to have 20 homework assignments this week. No, it's like, we're going to take the things you're already doing day to day in your business and just give you more effective strategies on how to actually make that work. Does that make sense? So you should already be making posts. I'm going to teach you how to make good ones, right? You should already be talking to people. I'm going to teach you how to effectively communicate so that they give you all of the answers you need to set them up for the product that you want to present to them. Okay. Babette was interested in hearing some certification income testimonials. If you want to touch on that, Babette, shoot me a text message, okay, and I'll send over all of that information about the certification and stuff, okay. Oh, I didn't drop a single F-bomb tonight. Dang, did I really go a whole night with no F-bombs? Some of you are happy about that. Some of you are sad about that. Just depends on the person. and I didn't do the diva voice. I'm so sorry. But for those of you that have been around for a while, I pulled out some oldies. Did you get the Flatiron guy? I haven't told that story in like a year. That's one of my favorite ones. You almost did when telling your book. Yeah, I didn't drop the F-bomb when talking about my book because I wanted to save it. I always joke that I try really hard to keep my free events to PG-13, but PG-13s allow for one F-bomb, so I'm going to sneak it in somewhere. And I don't like to get rid of it at the beginning because I might need it for later. So, fuck, I didn't use it. Oh, no. Christine never heard the Flatiron one. All right, well, it's a goodie. It's a goodie. What if someone can't be on live for the 626 calls? I think I already addressed that. We have the one Saturday morning a month specifically for those people to come, and they get first dibs. Josh is all theirs for that Saturday. Yeah, the replays are great. I do take a lot of pre-workout before every call on purpose because I want you, same as I said tonight, guys, I don't want to just give you strategy and tools. I also want to deliver hope every freaking time you hear me. So even when I'm talking about psychology, my goal is to spice that up with enough fun stories and analogies, which, by the way, stories and analogies stick 100 times better than anything else you could ever do. That's why I tell so many stories and analogies. That's why I animate them so much. And I teach you how to do that with your posts and your stories as well. Okay. All good. Yes. If you got to go, good night. Good night. I think we're just all hanging around, just enjoying the vibe at this point. My little girl's probably going crazy downstairs waiting to cuddle with daddy. So we also probably need to cut it off so that people don't get the replay and go 2 hours and 15 minutes. I ain't watching that. So we'll probably have to break this down into 2 different replays for people. Okay. Anyone already sign up tonight? Drop me a comment if you already signed up tonight and you're going to get that free one-on-one with Josh in the next 7 days. I don't know why I just took a drink of that. That has pre-workout mixed in with it. I need to put that down right now. Too late for having more of that. Okay, guys, love you so much. Believe in you so much. Appreciate you so freaking much. Also, super random. If you have not had Josh speak on a team call in your company, please reach out. I do free team calls for leaders as a way of just continuing to get the word out. The only thing I promote on those calls is my free books. I don't pitch $2,000 program like I did tonight. I literally only talk about my free books. But if you're with a company that I haven't done a call for, I'd absolutely love and be honored to come speak. I also speak at retreats. I'll be I don't know if any of my Cincy girls are still here. You might have already left. I'll be at a Cincy retreat next month in Florida. Super. Oh, yo, what's up? Oh, but you don't have a name on there. It just says Zoom user. I need a name, Zoom user. I need a name. And it's not letting me even click to ask to unmute. That's weird. There we go. I asked you to unmute, Zoom user. You can give me your name.
Yes. So I changed my name and figured out how to change my picture. So if I don't have my camera on, you can see my pretty smiling face. But it's Gwen, and I'm on Karen's team.
Awesome.
And I watched you with the Cincy thing. This is the second time watching you. I watched you on our thing for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, friend. I appreciate it. I think Karen had like 130 of her people registered for tonight.
There's a whole bunch of us. Yeah.
So freaking rad. Awesome.
Yeah.
Shelly's also with Cincy. Hi, Shelly. Chris, yes, if I've done paparazzi yet. I have not done paparazzi. So shoot me a message. I'd love to come do one, friend. Would absolutely love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging with me. Good luck sleeping tonight. I hope you have something to help you wind down. I love you so much. Believe in you so much. If you don't join the program, make sure you at least grab the books. I also have a podcast you can listen to for free. I have not done Frequence. Would absolutely love Sleep Plus plug. Someone has a sleep supplement. Send it my way. Send it my way. Love you guys so much. Have such an incredible night. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to noon Central. That's the schedule for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at the same time, 10 a.m. to noon Central. All right. Good night. We'll see you soon.
The recording has stopped.